Okay, so I feel like I'm just gonna be all over the place. So I can't even, I feel like my thoughts are so scattered. I don't even want to be awake, honestly. I just want to sleep. I don't understand. It's just like as soon as I like relax and go to sleep, she could be snoring and snoring. As soon as I relax and go to sleep, it's like jump up and start barking or something. It's just so wacky. I don't know. And another thing I noticed too was the dreaming thing is so fucking weird. Like your dreams are definitely like communication. The same way as like how they'll show things in my head and stuff. My dreams now are I don't even know. I mean, it's been like was transferring kind, like it's been evolving for years and years. But at the point that it's at now, it's weird. It's like I'm completely awake talking. I'm being explained things. I'm being shown things in like a dream, like movie, like something is being shown to me. Only I understand it perfectly. It's so strange. It's so strange, but I like to be there. I like it, but it's so strange, and it is. It's also it's like deep, deep into. I gotta change these beats, by the way. Is that I keep feeling like it pulls on my mind. The Let's put on some love energy and spiritual oneness, and and I feel so crappy. Like I can't believe how bad my joints and stuff hurt. And yesterday I did some more cleanses. I did the turpentine one. It made me so fucking sick. And for how sick it made me, I was like, as soon as I took it, I started choking. Oh my God, I was choking so hard. I was like, the door was even open. The neighbors can probably hear me, right? Uh, I'm choking so bad. And it was weird because it did something weird in my throat, and it felt like something was coming up. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, the worms are trying to escape from the turpentine. And so I started choking. I could feel all this like weird feeling. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm choking him back in. It was like really fucking with my head. And then I even took some charcoal later on top of that because that's supposed to get the stuff out. But I never see anything, you know, like where you see where people are always like, oh, the toilet's just full of parasites. I never have that happen. But then when people talk about like the symptoms, then it's always like, I have all these symptoms and I do all this stuff. It's just as wacky. And if I talk about this too much for you, that is a sure sign that you should probably just move on. Like, I don't understand going and telling somebody and then to say it in a snotty kind of way. Well, you talk about that for 2 hours and you're so negative. That is your sign to move on. I don't know where anybody comes up in their mind to go in and try and change somebody. Of all the times that I've been thinking, like all the times I've interacted with somebody who was creating their own content, have I ever gone in and started telling them what they needed to talk about, how they needed to present it, what they needed to do? Have I ever tried to puppet master anyone else? And I don't think so. I think it's for one thing, I'm always shocked when I talk about certain things over and over and over, and then people will do the behavior and be like oblivious to it. It's like, are you really listening to what I'm saying? Are you really doing the work? Like, I don't know what different people come in and listen for. I don't know if some people are just looking for connection. Some people are, everybody's got their own thing that their own needs. And see, I used to, like, this isn't me anymore. This is the other Kelly. She used to go out of her way to please other people. She didn't want anybody to feel bad. She didn't want people to have their feelings hurt. And she's still in there. She's still in there. But there had to be another part, as I fractaled out into all these multi parts of myself. There had to be the protective part that watches out for how I feel. And nobody's ever done that. in my life. So I had to do it for myself. And I'm pretty good at it. And I'm not going to let anybody fucking step all over me now. And you want to come in and you want to tell me what I need to talk about, you need to go start your own channel. Put yourself out there. Don't come in and start telling me what I need to do and how I need to behave. I've put up with that far too long in my life. And I'm not going to put up with it. And I'm experiencing my experience. And I'm sharing my experience. If you don't want to be a part of that, then don't be. It makes no difference to me. But don't come in and start telling me how I need to behave, what I need to do. And then even when I'm talking about things like gaslighting and when you're triggered and stuff, and then you want to try and turn it on me and tell me that I'm the one triggered when you are attacking me. I mean, gaslighting 101, like you got to go out and read some self-help books. You got to look into yourself. To think that everybody else is the problem is, that's your ego. And, you know, if you come in and you start telling somebody else what they need to do, that is a time that you need to start doing what you feel you need someone else to do. You need to do that for yourself. So if you feel like, oh, this person just, you know, I like to listen to them, but they just don't talk about the things I want them to talk about. I want them to talk about this. I want them to talk about that. And it's not even just ask questions, you know, could you elaborate on this or that, you know, but to start telling somebody what they need to talk to about, when they need to talk, how they need to do it, and then to try and do it in a passive aggressive way. And no emojis are going to soften. You can't pretend like you're not being passive aggressive when you are. You have to see yourself for your true self. And when you are being, I mean, it's just, it's so obvious. And you know, this whole thing about that, I need to do what this other person wants me to do. Well, then for me, the person, that one, how many different people do you think that would be pulling on that? That I need to please all these different people. I need to do this for them. I need to, because they can't do it for themselves. They can't go out and do it for themselves. No, they need me to do it for them. And so you need to control somebody else so that you can feel better about something in your life. And instead of putting yourself out there. Is that, like I said before, when I started my channel, it was when I was going out and listening to different spiritual people. And I thought, well, they're saying this wrong. They're telling this wrong. That's not right. That's not what I understand. And so that was a huge motivation. But then once I saw that there was religious people, fake spiritual people, like, there was an open area for me. That's who I am. So I came in to fill in that area, to talk about my perspective. Now, if you find yourself in opening a new area for yourself, that's your role. That is up to you to do it, not tell me what I need to do. You need to go and fill your own role. So, whereas I was listening to other people and I didn't agree, so then I start sharing my perspective to make sure, and I've talked about this before. This isn't something like, this isn't the first time. Anybody who's been listening to me for a long time has heard this conversation before. And so you want to go, and have somebody talk about what you want talked about, you need to be the one who's doing it. You need to go and put yourself out there. You need to open your chakra, your throat chakra. You need to go out there and put yourself out there. Not sit there and harass somebody else and then tell them that, try and discount their feelings when they come right out and tell you that that they feel attacked by what you are saying. That it is not, and it's uncalled for. It's like, what is the point? If you're going and just making negative comments, what is the point? When you're just trying to confront somebody, be confrontational with somebody, what is the point? Are you just trying to bring negative energy? Do you think that somebody who wants and then to try and use hypocrisy and twist it around and say that the other person is not being love and light? and they are spreading negativity. This happens over and over, especially with these people who get all spiritual, who think that they are, chosen, they are above other people. They seem to think that they know everything, and it's a total victim thing, because in empowerment, you're not running around trying to change everybody else. You are just working on yourself. And so you have time to go and try and change somebody you don't even know. You're trying to, and then trying to use toxic behaviors in order to get me to do something you want me to do. So name call, or discount what I'm saying that I'm feeling. My feelings don't matter. That is total narcissism and gaslighting, to tell somebody how they're feeling. So you go and you create an action. You do something that you felt was necessary for whatever reason. And then whatever reaction this person gives you back, that's their reaction. It doesn't matter what you think about their reaction. Doesn't matter how you want to decipher their reaction. This is how they deciphered what you did to them. So you made an action, then this person responds. And, in a toxic world, we've had a lot of toxic responses. It's been a lot of people would do everything they could to please this other person, all sorts of things. But once this happens, the person who has had the action taken on them, the responder, now has the opportunity to respond however they want, whatever they experienced. So whatever I experienced, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if throughout my whole entire life that I have had men that wanted to control me and tell me what I needed to do, discount how I felt, and shame me, belittle me. They wanted me to just be this pretty girl that they could pull out and walk around, and, but I didn't matter. And so in my things that I talked about, things I thought about, and stuff like that certainly didn't matter. And so I have dealt with this kind of thing for a long time, and it has been a part of my healing to pull free from that and to stand strong in myself, to stand up for myself and not be pushed around and belittled and told that I need to change to be acceptable for somebody else. So just a second, because I got lost because I had a bunch of things coming in my head at one time. But if somebody is coming and they are trying to tell you that you need to be what they want you to be, that is completely narcissistic behavior. And then to shame you and tell you that you're not allowed to have that feeling. So they say something to you and you respond. And if you don't give them the response they want, the acceptable response, then you are also in the wrong. And they'll tell you why you're in the wrong. They'll tell you what you need to do different, how you need to look at it different. It doesn't fucking matter. This is my perception. This is what I've gone through in my life. This is how I get it perceived. And if somebody's pushing up on something that is very familiar to me, then that is how I'm going to take it. And that is my right to take it however I want to take it. And you may think, oh, I'm not trying to be pushy at all. I don't mean anything by any of the stuff I'm saying. Then you need to think about the things you say. And when somebody gives you a feedback of something you say, then you acknowledge that as your own thing. You don't have to turn around, attack them, and tell them that they're ridiculous, that they're taking it wrong, that they're doing it wrong, and stuff like that. You can't tell somebody how to take something. You can't tell somebody else how they need to take what you do and what you say. And this has been a part of my learning as well, is because through my relationship with my children, is being so defensive. They would tell me there's something that I had done, and I would become super defensive because you're just not understanding. That's not what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. However it affected them. And I have spent so much time in relationships and stuff. Oh, you took it wrong. That's not what I meant. You took it wrong. That's not what I meant. It doesn't matter. It's however the person took it is how they took it. And when we sit there and try and tell somebody that they took it wrong, that they need to do something, that's just piling on more stuff that they've done wrong. What you do at this point in time, you've created an action. You've gone in, you've said something. You may not have meant it the way they said it, because how you are putting out is your own brokenness, how you are going out into the world. We all have our own brokenness, but we don't want to see our own brokenness. We just want to see everybody else's. But so we have our own brokenness. So we don't do great approaches. We don't always say the right thing. And we don't know our own power. We don't know when to turn it off and turn something else on. Like, we have a lot of dysfunction. Our society is raised on dysfunction. Our society has developed in a very dysfunctional way. But it's up to people who want different, people who want change, who want better, to take the approach in a different way, to take the steps towards creating something better, making the world a better place, taking responsibility for ourselves. So when we go out and we say something to somebody and they give us our reaction, that's the mix right there. So we say something and we think it's perfectly fine, but this has triggered them. This has made them feel like you're attacking them. That does not mean that you're not attacking them if they feel attacked. If they feel attacked, that is their experience. So at that point, you don't discount them. You don't tell them you're not allowed to feel that way. You don't know what they've gone through in their life. You don't know, just like in this, you don't know how, and this seems to be a part of my experience as well, is because of what I am trying to get over in my own personal life, and then to go out and do something publicly, and then to have people come in and push these buttons to and where your automatic response is like, you want to please them, you want them to like you, you want them, especially you're trying to build something up, you don't want to be out there. But the most important thing is that I stand up for myself, stand up for who I am, stand up for what I believe. And if I believe, and this is not even just like the first one, like I put so many aside where I was like, this is so passive aggressive. And I've called this person out before, and they just become defensive, deflect, and all of the toxic behaviors that I've been trying to explain how to stop doing them. So this is like the perfect thing to start really getting into seeing, because we have to look at this stuff. So the person comes and you say something to somebody, however you mean it, whatever you're trying to get. This is why I've said beforehand, be mindful before you approach, before you're going to say anything. Think about, okay, what am I going to say here? What am I trying to get here? What do I want from this person? Is this something I can give to myself? Am I trying to get something out of this person? Like, you got to go through it and get to the point where you're like, yeah, this is important. I need to say this to this person. This is like super important. And you go and say it. And then this person reacts and doesn't like what you said and thinks that you are pushy, stepping over their boundaries, rude, passive aggressive, whatever the thing is, that you have now triggered this response in this person, which this person, whoever the person is, then go through and look at their triggers and acknowledge them perfectly fine. Oh yeah, I can perfectly see. Yeah, as soon as somebody comes in and starts trying to tell me how I need to change to make them happy, to do something better for them. Oh no, no. That is a definite no, thank you, sir. As soon as I catch that, that's not happening. And this isn't the first time I've had it happen. And it's been mostly men, but it has been women. I mean, I had the one girl who freaked out because I said that demons aren't real. And I'd been saying it the whole damn time. And it was just like, was this the first time you listened? Was this the first time you heard it? And you've just been emailing me and having all these conversations. And all of a sudden it was the first day you heard me say it. It's like, there's a lot of these people who, they come in and they'll say things and attack me or something. And it's like, the things you're saying, it's like, do you even listen to what I'm talking about? Do you listen to what I'm saying? Because it seems like you're not listening, and I don't know what you're doing. Like, you know, my videos are 100% for about people who want to heal and not pretend like the world is fine. The world is full of pain and tragedy. We have to see where we were, what we've done to ourselves, what has happened. I mean, I thought that the fucking abandoned dogs was sad enough. I've already been bawling my goddamn head off this morning. Now we got fucking kids. Yeah, this video was so motherfucking sad. I couldn't even believe it. These people were going out to go fishing. And so it's like very sparse out in this area. And they pull up on this kid in this car. And this kid, this little tiny kid, is up screaming, wake up, to his mom. And so the car pulls up and is like, hey, you know, are you okay or whatever? And he's like, my mom won't wake up. And so the guy gets out of the car and he's on this one side and he's yelling and yelling and yelling. I'll start crying probably through this. And she won't wake up. She won't wake up. And there's two little kids in the car, like a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old or something, 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and a little boy and a little girl. And so she won't wake up. She won't wake up. And so he goes around to the other side and is like hitting into her, trying to push her, you know, screaming right in her face, shaking her, and nothing. And then he checked and he's like, there's no heartbeat. She's dead. He's telling the person he's with, because he's like, called 911. And these little kids, they are oblivious. They just have no idea what in the hell is going on. And they're just like, can we go play on the playground? Mom wouldn't let us play on the playground. She yelled at us. And the guy's like, yeah, let's go. And takes him out there, and they're calling 911. He was yelling at somebody else, asking, like, how long has this car been here? And they were waiting with the kids. I didn't ever see when the police got there or what happened. And while he was playing with the kids on the playground, he asked the little boy's in kindergarten, and he says something about, where's your dad? And he said, well, my dad's real mean. We don't really see him very much because he's so mean. I don't even know what it was. And when the guy was over there trying to wake the woman up, you could see like she had a lot of writing on her face, just tons of like those, they're not pock marks. They're like drug skin marks. They're drug pock marks. It's like different than acne, like from a kid who had bad complexion. It's different. And then they pick at their skin and stuff. So you could tell, you know, that and when he was out there too, he said, does your mom sleep a lot? And the kid was like, yeah, she's very tired a lot of the time. She likes to sleep. And the kids were just so happy and excited, just out there playing on the playground. I have no idea what their life was about to turn into. Maybe it's going to turn into some way better. You know, maybe this sister has been estranged, or this daughter has been estranged from the family. And this is the best thing that ever happened to the kids, you know. I don't know. It's just like, fuck. Bad enough when people are going out and just finding dogs and cats and shit. But now just finding kids out and just out there, just on their own, just abandoned with dead moms sitting in the car. It's like, this world is so fucking sad. I don't see how people can look away from this and pretend like everything is fine. And then, you know, what we got going with this huge extreme creation that they have going over this world war thing. And I get how it's like going to bring up to the surface so much about, you know, like the connection of the money and stuff. Like, I don't know how extreme, you know, they're going to take it. I think that they probably, I have no idea. I mean, there's people who are saying that some of this footage that they're showing out of Israel is the same thing with the thing with Russia. They're finding these are old footage of buildings that were blown up a long time ago, and they're using them and saying they're just now coming down. So you got that footage. You got them, they're taking all these people and evacuating them and putting them in some kind of bomb shelters, keeping them down there where people are saying they could just be out there making a bunch of noise and telling these people this stuff is going on and keeping them in there because nobody's getting to share videos. I saw one video of a guy, it seemed so ridiculous because it seemed so fake. He was showing, which it could have been a goddamn green screen, and showing all these bombs, and he's going, from window to window, and he's panicking, and he's like, I just need money. Just send me some money for food. I just need food. Just send me some money for food. He just keeps saying that and saying that and saying that. I was like, oh my gosh. There's so much fakeness in this fucking. So, I mean, it's sad. They could be really going and just doing this mass slaughtering and stuff. And it's, of course, starting here where now there's huge protests. And I don't know, something about, they're trying to make it between the Islam, Muslim, and Christians. They just want constant division about everything. It's like all of a sudden it's like, well, it's kind of like the black people and white people have kind of seen now that this was a created argument and they're not fighting so much anymore. We got to go on with the religion. Let's just really pull up religion. Let's get all the religions to feel that they are being ostracized, they are being attacked, they are being murdered. And it's just like, oh my God, it's just so, it's just so extreme, man. And then last night, I guess there was a 4.2 earthquake in Seattle. So things, I don't know if that is just things are heating up over here on the West Coast again. I saw there's so many horrific new laws passing and stuff like that. Like anybody who's paying attention in California, I just can't even believe that they're just not all running from that place. But I think that the absurdity in the laws and the lawmakers and stuff is to push the people away, to push them out of there because it's so disgusting and absurd. And there's so much. And I just don't see how, that's a part. It's a part of what's going on. It's a part of what's happening. This is the evolution of our lifestyles, us as beings. The whole thing is this transition, this evolving, and that's what I talk about, and talk about us evolving, us becoming different, us becoming better, us becoming in control. There's so many people who think like, well, they got diagnosed, now they're stuck. Now I'm a narcissist, that's who I am. It's like, no, you got to actively go and change the things you don't want to be a part of you. Just like this guy, you're going to go and say something to me, and then I'm going to say what I say, and then you're going to come back. I'm not going to do this arguing back and forth. And then you're going to, come back and try and tell me, how dare I, like I'm ridiculous, like laugh at me, throw in all your LOLs and all your fucking, your damn ass emojis and shit, and think that is, that means the message is hidden or something. But the message is loud and clear to me. It's hyper focused to me. So if you can't see it as no concern to me, but you as a person, when you get a response back, need to go in and look at your own behavior. Look at your own approach to things. Look at what is it you're expecting? What is it you're wanting from somebody? Why would you put your expectation, your wants, your needs off on someone else, especially someone you don't even know? Like, you got to recognize your own toxic behaviors. You got to see that's the only thing that you can change. You can't change anyone else. You can only change yourself. And it isn't changing yourself into being what is better for somebody else. It's changing into what is good for you. What makes you happy. So I'm not going to change that trigger. That trigger is definitely one that I'm going to take notice as soon as somebody is trying to step on my boundaries and tell me that I need to change for them. I don't think that I, at that point, I don't need to change for anybody. I need to stand up for my own self. That this is who I am. This is the stuff I talk about. I'm going to talk about as long as I want to talk about it. And there's people who actually are interested. There's people who are interested in talking about hair, trying to get off of shampoo and get off of chemicals. I just saw a thing of this woman was telling this strange story about that she used to ride the bus. She had an hour and a half commute. And so she would ride the bus. And when she would ride it, you would always just get with your same partner on the trains or bus, whatever you wanted to sit. So you would sit with the same person all the time. And she always wanted to sit with this old guy who didn't ever talk. And so they would sit together and never talk, and every day for years going to work. And one day he comes and he's all frazzled, and he was all so she said something to him, said, are you okay? Ask him with concern or whatever. And he said that his wife and his daughter were up all night fighting. And I guess she had also had a conversation before, because she knew what he did. He's some sort of executive in something with makeup and stuff. And so she was saying that the wife and daughter got in a huge fight because the daughter is a teenager and she wants to go to Claire's and buy all that gunk that all of the young girls do and put it all over her face and stuff. And her mom said no. And the whole thing is about the toxins and the chemicals and stuff. And so the girl was telling him, why didn't you have her use your products? But then this other thing is there's executives from that industry, the makeup industry, who won't let anyone in their family use any of those kinds of products. And that they what was this one? Because it was a headline of a woman, I think she was a makeup person who did makeup, and it gave her cancer. And so there's just all these things coming out about the cancer, just on skin products and stuff. I mean, on the goddamn sunblock and shit. All of the stuff, the shampoo, the lotions, everything that we put on us that they sell us is got some sort of chemical or toxin in it, because it's all just to make us sick. And it's all testing on us all the time to see what works, what doesn't work, what kills you too fast, what kills you slowly. And then they come up with, new pills and all this shit that they do. And so anyways, there's a lot of people who are trying to learn more about it. Just like I was noticing, like I made my tea again this morning, and like to make this tea mixture is like so many, it's like 8 little containers of all these different roots and leaves and all this shit. And so make all this little thing. And I keep looking at all these ones, and they keep saying mushroom coffee, but I don't get why they keep saying that mushroom coffee. Does it have some coffee in it? There's all these different ones. And so then I was like, okay, I'll just keep doing my own blend. I've already got the matcha, the chaga, these other roots and all this stuff. But I don't know all of their things and all of their benefits and stuff. So, but there's girls out there who do. And so, when I go on and I'll listen to some of these, and they're like talking about, well, it has a little effect of the matcha, these weird herbs and weird words and stuff, and they're talking about them, like they completely understand them. They know which ones make you go to sleep. They know which ones make you wake up. They know which ones make you not feel anxious. They know, like, all these different teas and shit. And so, there's people out there who know a ton about this stuff. And so, there's lots of people who are interested in it. Lots of people who are interested in food things, trying to cook more healthy, trying to eat more healthy. Again, there's a whole thing about, even trying to understand about the whole thing with food and, realizing that you're a hologram when you're trying to go more into the benefits of being a hologram, but then you anchor yourself down with your energy source. So like there's just all this gray, there's all this growing that's happening. And maybe that is part of, maybe it is like I'm just too hard to understand for some people, because I am all over the place. I do talk on a certain, like I know that a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. They can think that they understand some of the stuff I'm saying, but then not understand what I'm really saying. I just saw I've seen so many of these lately, these like fucking genius kids. And this one little girl, she's like 3 years old, and she just sit there and start telling her mom, Mom, 4.8 divided by 1.2 equals 2 she just starts doing this stuff. And so the mom will start like doing it, and the girl is right all the time. And she can go on all sorts of numbers. Like this girl is going to be something. Like she's coming in with some knowledge, like no doubt about it. And this little boy, he was adopted from Ethiopia. 5 months old, he was abandoned. He's a lucky one, man, because they seem to just want these abandoned kids just to chomp and munch down on. But this one was lucky enough, he got a family and was adopted. And I think he lives in America. And but ever since he was little tiny, it was like he found a crochet needle or saw his aunt crocheting or something and started crocheting when he was like tiny. I don't even know. I mean, he's doing elaborate blankets when he's 3 years old. The kid's like, I don't know if he's 8 or 12 years old, somewhere between. He might be 8 years old. And his blankets are like crazy. And he just is nonstop the whole time. And my poor hand, like I have to stop all the time. My hands hurt so bad. And he's just sitting there the whole time he's talking. He's not even looking. And he's, I don't know. But that's another clear sign to me. I mean, reincarnation for sure. When people come in with these great gifts and stuff, like you got to see, like these are people who are born over and over and over, coming back in to do things, to make changes, to live a different life, to try and fix mistakes they made, to learn lessons that they have. Like all these people are souls that are just going back in to relive and relive. Like it seems so hard when you're here, but when you're not here or not in an incarnation, it's like, I think all we want to do is get in one. We want to go experience. We want to go, like, even though this is challenging and hard. And, it's weird too, as you try and compare it to like what life was like before. Because life was hard. It's been hard the whole time. And so now we're to this part, though it's like the shedding of that old life, the shedding of the skin of what you created to be you in that life. And now it's like the shedding of it so you can become this new refined version of yourself. But you got to see your behaviors, your toxic behaviors. You got to see when somebody is saying something, your response back is to not belittle them, not make fun of them, not deflect, not, the thing that you want to do is, to me, what I do now is, oh, I didn't mean to do that, I'll do different, I'll look at my own self. Like you got to look at your own stuff all the time. Like in this scenario, if it is what I'm talking about is bothering you so much that, and you want me to do it a certain way, you want me to, I don't know, go live at 3 o'clock in the morning because it's convenient for you, because it doesn't take as long for you to download when there's 2,000 videos. And it's not, yeah, there has to do with some of the stuff, what's going on in that day, but it is all about healing and about doing better for yourself, trying to make yourself better through the whole time that I've been doing this. So, like, even if you can't see the video right then when it pops up, there's tons more. If you're really trying to heal, you're really trying to learn and grow and stuff, there's videos that talk about it all the time. Things that, to become better, to heal yourself, to notice, certain behaviors in yourself, because you also, a part of it is setting boundaries for yourself. Like, that's a part of healing. Like, I'm putting my boundaries up. I have boundaries. Like, I am not going to, if somebody wants to come in and tell me what I need to talk about, when I need to talk, how I need to behave, or any of those things, those are all things that I've come to this point in my life where I'm comfortable with myself. I am not going to change myself to please somebody else. I am, and I've been doing this spiritual journey for a long ass time. And especially, I'm not going to have people who just figured out they have a soul, and that they're going to come in and start telling me how I need to process, what I need to be, who I need to be, how I need to behave, and stuff like that. I've got my own team. I've got my own guidance. I don't need anybody else coming in and telling me what I need to do and how I need to do it. And if you feel like that, when you're listening to somebody, that is your sign that you need to go start your own. Put yourself out there. You put yourself out there, and then you deal with that kind of stuff. People coming in and telling you what you need to do, how you need to do it and stuff. Don't tell me when you haven't even experienced that and you want to tell me how I need to respond. You've never experienced it. You've never experienced any of the things you're telling me how I need to respond. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You need to go out and go experience. You go learn. You don't, like, look, like, I don't know how, like, when I say this stuff, it's like, if it doesn't sink in, I don't know how else to say it. Like, but as you're healing, you have to, you develop into yourself. You develop, you have boundaries. Like, I have boundaries. I'm not going to let people, it doesn't matter if they're family or whatever. If family, I'll stand right up and say, you're not going to tell me what to do. And if you don't like it, you're not going to judge me. It took me a lot of years to get to that point, to be able to recognize it clearly. Recognize when somebody is pushing, when somebody is gaslighting me, and when somebody is trying to belittle me, passive aggressive, all that stuff. I used to always put everyone's feelings ahead of mine. Oh, well, I don't want them to feel bad. I don't want them to have to feel what it feels like to feel pain, but I'm not going to carry everybody else's pain around. I'm done doing that. That was a heavy burden. I'm sorry if you feel pain, but, that's your thing. That's whatever you do with it is up to you. Each person, when you feel something, you have the opportunity to make a choice. You're going to do something better, or you're going to go in the other direction. And a lot of people, are, choosing the negative. Because it feels more, is more acceptable. It's more acceptable. Like, I just am shocked how many psychologists, people, or whatever, people out there trying to help people heal. And it's like more divisive. It's not healing to just cut yourself off from family, to cut yourself off from people who make you feel bad. The productive, positive thing is not to just point out and label everybody and give them a diagnosis and then cut yourself off from all of them, is to work on the things that you need to work on. You take the diagnosis and you break it down to all your problems, just like this. If you're going out and you're constantly going out and talking to people and always getting people to be irritated with you, and then you try and be like all happy-go-lucky, oh, no, you're just taking it wrong. No, you're taking it wrong. It's you. You over there, the person who I told they need to change to do something different so I can be happy. And now you're taking that wrong. No, you who's going around trying to puppet master everybody has got to see that you're a control freak, that you are doing things, and then you're trying to pass it off as it's, no big deal. But it is a big deal. It's a very big deal to tell other people how they need to behave and how they need to act to please you. You shouldn't be doing that. Any of us shouldn't be doing that. You know, moms shouldn't be doing it to daughters. Husbands shouldn't do it to wives. Brothers shouldn't do it to sisters. Nobody should be doing it to anybody. These are behaviors that we have to recognize. We have to start making changes. We have to recognize our own behaviors and, fervently work on ourselves to be to be less toxic, to have better boundaries. I'm not gonna let somebody just ruin my day. I'll block them if necessary. If somebody is going to harass me, like on TikTok, I'll get people who will harass me over something. And it's just like, I'll just block them. I'm not going to sit there and give you my energy. My energy is for me. It's not for you. And it's not so you can sit here and try and get me to see your point, to get me to be on your side. I'm fine in my own side, my own way of seeing things. I'm strong enough to be, I've stood alone plenty of times. I've stood alone in a crowd of people that would laugh at me. I don't care about, it's going to bother you, but I'm not going to conform. I'm not going to go and change myself. I can see those people have got issues. If you've got time to be rude to somebody and be mean to somebody and try and make fun of somebody, then you've got it's like too much time on your hands or something, or you've got too much anger. You're trying to what is it, to don't look over here, look over here, but the whole thing is if you really truly want to be better, you got to look at yourself truly. It is the same thing. It's like, you can't force somebody to quit drinking. You can't force somebody to heal. Somebody has to truly want it. There is people who go to counseling and pay every motherfucking week hundreds of dollars to go in and sit and talk to a counselor, won't ever fucking say a real thing, won't ever tell a true thing, because they don't want the counselor to judge them. You got to truly, truly want different. You got to truly want to improve your life. You have to truly look at what is the common denominator for all of your problems. Is always you. So if you are your problem, how can you change you? What is it that you need to change? Well, you need to be more accepting when people reflect back to you. If somebody is saying, don't judge me, don't deflect, don't whatever. If a toxic behavior of yours gets called out, then you need to recognize your toxic behavior. You need to see like, oh, fuck, I do that. God damn. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Yeah. We're all going around doing shit we don't realize what we're doing. That's the problem. That's our defect in our programming. We just go around doing shit that we don't realize we're doing. You got to stop and realize and think about it. Look at yourself and see. And then you see, like, a real simple one is, don't go around trying to get people to do things for you or do things the way you want them done. That's unnecessary. That's 100% unnecessary. There's no reason for anybody to be, what is that? Co-piloting somebody through their life, backseat drive through somebody else's life. There's no reason for that. You got to get yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. You got to make yourself vulnerable, not just attack other people. And then you get yourself convinced, well, it's dangerous to put yourself out there. Well, you're the attacker. You're the one who makes it dangerous. You are the one who is creating the thing that you fear. So you've got to change your own toxic behaviors. You got to recognize. And it's such a simple one. If you are the initiator, you initiate this conversation, and you are coming at somebody in an aggressive way, and they say that they don't like it, you know, then acknowledge that and say, oh, okay, I didn't even realize I was being so confrontational. God, I've got to really work on that, man. I got to see myself more clearly. And, the next time you're going to approach somebody, think about it like, okay, I was going to say this. This is what I usually would say, but am I really confrontational? Am I really pushing people all the time? Or is this what I'm here to do? And this is what I want to be. And I want to push people. And if I don't have any friends, fuck it. I don't care. And, that's for you to decide, but you got to start seeing when somebody gives you a reaction to try and push their reaction back like they're not allowed to have it. That is when you've reached the pinnacle of toxicity. Like, you've got to, whatever your thing is as the initiator, whatever your response is. And yeah, you're going to probably get a lot of responses. You're going to think, oh, well, that was over the top. Oh, well, that's overreacting. Oh, well, that's too much. Well, keep in mind, you are going out and using your toxic words to put off on other people who are also feeling the same kind of beat down. We're all carrying our bandages and scars through life. We've all been beat down through our childhoods, through our existence. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to take it wrong. And so you're going to go around in the world telling everybody in the whole world that they need to take things different. If you say something, everybody needs to take it different. Everybody needs to, that's like the same thing as trying to go around telling everybody that they need to know your pronouns. Everybody better make sure you have got to be the one. What you're going around in the world putting out, if you're going around and creating toxic relationships, then you need to see that you're the toxic centerpiece, that you can make the changes. You can start seeing, like, if you're confrontational, you don't want to be confrontational, then you walk yourself through it. And maybe you got to start seeing, like, why do I feel like I need to attack somebody in that way? Probably because that's how you were talked to your whole life. So you were talked to in a certain way, and so that's why it's so comfortable. You don't realize you're doing something wrong or toxic because it's in your programming. But you have to start recognizing, and this is a breaking and programming. This is changing. This is us trying to purposefully make changes in our relationships, in our own persona, in letting go of the things that were burdens, letting go of toxic things, but then also building your own safety net, your own protective shield around you. But it's not based on everyone in the world is out to hurt you. Everyone is going to get you, so you have to be defensive to everybody. So you have it's like, as you grow and heal, your boundaries will grow and heal with you. So it's going to be, it's all of this it's all of this transitioning. It's all transitioning. It's all developing. It's all this that spreading out, that going out, whatever, I can't think of the word again. The confirmation. The what is that? Gradation, like the energetic gradation as it expands out, and so it's always going out. But anyways, the each person, you got to go in and look at your own behaviors. So if you're getting toxic reactions, you've got toxic behaviors. There's just no fucking, don't kid yourself. And as soon as you find yourself becoming defensive, that is a sign that you need to see that you've been triggered now. You were triggered because somebody else was triggered. So you came on, push your agenda on somebody else. Then they say, no, thank you, please, and go away with your pushy agenda. And then you think they're overreacting. And so then you're triggered. So then you see and it's kind of like it's like you're trying to push your boundaries or something. It's like trying to figure your own stuff out, but you got to look at your responses. You got to look at your behaviors. And, those are right out of textbooks. Name calling, deflecting, gaslighting is so that's why I keep saying you got to read some of these self-help books, because I think there's some people who are still just so focused on other people's behaviors that they don't ever recognize their own behavior. And that they don't realize, like, because everything has its own language. Like, if you go and start reading self-help books and stuff, you'll find all new words that you'll find yourself using these new words and saying and seeing things in a different way. It's its own thing. So if you go in and you start reading some self-help books, probably a good one is to start. I swear to God, borderline and narcissism is like so prevalent. Yeah, go in, and it's all just people who are in pain, people who are suffering and trying to use toxic behaviors in order to make themselves feel better. So the breaking down of the toxic behaviors, seeing the toxic behaviors. But if you go in and read any of these books and you see, especially ones that have case studies, so you can see that you can watch how the people interact, like how they do certain things. It's not just a psychologist telling you. It will explain it through the different cases, so different scenarios, and you can see the people's behavior, and you'll start picking up on your own behaviors. You'll be like, oh my God, I do that same thing. Oh my God. And you'll start seeing, and then you start catching yourself. So you can start improving your relationships by not going and using these toxic characteristics that we have been programmed to believe that is, a way to maintain relationships. It's not. I mean, we just have to look and see. Depression, anxiety, disconnect, all of the problems that have come from all this toxicity in our world. And then, so, I'm somebody who believes in fixing things. I'm a fixer and the seer. I can see the problems clearly, and I just want to fix them. So, you got to just look at your own stuff. And, I have to do it all the time with my kids or something. It could be anything that can happen. And you just have to look at your own stuff. And, right here, you can sit there and say, well, you got to look at your own stuff. And now you're sitting here shaming me on here. I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm not trying to shame you. I don't even know if you're going to see this. You could have already blocked me and moved on because I made you feel bad. And I'm not trying to shame you, but it is like this perfect case study. It's like the perfect scenario to make a point, just so people can see, so we can really recognize our own toxic behaviors, because people don't recognize it. They just go around being toxic, and then they're confused. Like, why is everything keep going wrong? Why don't I have better relationships? Why don't I feel more happy? Why don't I feel more fulfilled? But we can make changes. We can change our lives. We can change our feelings. We can change our connections through our own behaviors, taking control of our own behaviors, taking control of our own outlook, taking control, seriously, really think about things before you initiate conversations with somebody. Do I really need to go in here and say this? What is it that I want from this? What do I want to get from this? And I'm not trying to say, like, you guys stop commenting. I like getting the comments. I like to get them. I mean, there's some that are confrontational, and, there's a side of me that just wants to just like, oh my God, just turn the light off, But, there's the other side of me that's like, okay, well, you took this on. This is what you are doing. This is what your role. And it is about trying to learn about how to have better behaviors. So we have to talk about it. Just like I was saying a couple days ago, I feel like there's going to be people out of my family or neighbors or something that are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said anything about me in there. But it's important for us to see. And what we talk about, if we don't have anyone to talk about it, if we don't have the the associations. How do we talk about these things? We got to see it in, it's like a hands-on method. It's like a hands-on way of seeing. And then, and I've made these changes. I've done these things. They're completely possible. I'm not just saying, I'm not just talking about it. No, this is all possible. You can change all of the things, you know, especially like one of my daughters was going to counseling when she was a teenager. She loved counseling. She went to counseling. She still goes to counseling. She loves to have counseling and have someone to go in and talk to and stuff. And this one counselor who was, she had a lot of issues, but she, you know, told this daughter a lot of personal stuff about other people that she knew and all sorts of things. But she was telling my daughter, you know, that I was borderline. I had borderline personality. I had all these problems and stuff. Telling a teenager this kind of stuff about their mom. So anyways, you know, I already got that diagnosis. And then, you know, my kid telling me all the time. And then I went when I was in nursing school, and I had read about all of the personality disorders and stuff, and it has them all like label, or, you know, all the behaviors written out. And when I was reading it, I was like, this is pretty much like everybody's got this. These are like, you know, behaviors that people adapt to their trauma. And these are just the behaviors that they try and, you know, adapt in life without like knowing what to do. And so the thing is when you go in and you see them and you see that, and you get out of this whole thing about this diagnosis, get out of this caught up in this diagnosis. That's what they want to do, is keep you trapped. And they always want to cage you. But when you go in and you see the diagnosis and you see the patterns of behavior, you see the types of behavior and stuff, when you see, you can recognize yourself, that is when you can change them. You can change your own patterns of behavior. You're not stuck. You're not stuck in patterns of behavior. We're programmed, so it's hard. It's hard. You got to catch yourself, and you can't get frustrated. You got to just keep trying and trying and trying. But you can improve them. You can change all of your toxic behaviors, you know, just all the things. I think, you know, you can change addiction. I think you can change everything. I think you can change your fear. I think you can reprogram everything in you. I 100% think that's 100% possible. But we have to actively do it. Like all these people are just sit around waiting for Jesus, the Schumann resonance, the earth, all these things are just doing it for you. It's pretty big stuff. It's pretty hard stuff. And, you know, I believe you actively have to be doing it for yourself. That is your, it's like practice. It's like practicing. It's like, you know, you want to be a really good basketball player. You have to go out and practice shooting, practice, you know, dribbling, practice doing all of the stuff. You can't just sit on your bed holding a basketball saying, you know, universe, Jesus, make me into a great basketball player. You have to go out and put in the effort. You have to go out and do the work. And that's the whole thing too, is what I'm saying about this, the timeline thing. And that's what I'm saying too, is if you're finding yourself irritated by going out and listening to other people, that is your soul telling you it's time for you to go out and speak your truth. Go out and speak your truth. Go out and start putting yourself out there. That is real. Like, you know, don't sit there and be irritated with everybody who is now irritating you. You got to just go and put yourself out there. And believe me, I get the thing. Like going on TikTok, I find so irritating. I cannot believe how many people just, oh my God, it's just so much about buy this, buy that. You got to buy this. Oh, you need, oh my God, it's just, it's so gross. Like commercial, oh my God, it's just everybody's so fucking sold out. It's so, what was that though? As I saw something that was really, really cool. I've seen a lot of really cool things that people are starting businesses with. And I'm telling you, that is the thing to do. Like, it doesn't even fucking matter what it is. Like, you could be somebody who's like, you know what I've always really loved is bees. I've always wanted to really I'm interested in bees, and also doing beekeeping. They have such a long life. They have such a high frequency that they're really healthy. But apparently it's not that hard. But that is something, honey, local honey. I just got some honey off of Amazon because I need to go down to the farmer's market, which I'm not. I'm going to go tomorrow to the market, I think. Right now, my bank is not showing. My money was not, my bank account wasn't working. I'm having weird shit. What was that one too? Because one of the things yesterday or the day before, all of a sudden I felt like, or I got a text that said my insurance was going to come out on my car. For some reason, I was like, well, I'm going to go look at this email. And lo and behold, it's always taken like $78 out for years. And all of a sudden next month on the 11th, it's going to start taking $148 out. And that is the whole way down now, $148. And so I've spent all weekend trying to find how to get in touch with them. It's impossible. All this fucking online bullshit. It's impossible. You can't find people. And so I'm just like, man, fuck. Am I going to have to just change insurances? Like, what in the holy hell? Where they just all of a sudden, and I think that they can just go up $70. It's almost double the thing out of the blue. And then I was on, I went to go look at my bank account to see if it was, the money was in there. And, because Chewy took the thing out, which is so strange because I put it to go out Wednesday. And so they already took it out and already shipped it. And so I was like, well, that's weird. So my money must be in the account then. Went on, looked. Nope, wasn't even in there. No money was in there. So they took now they put it in the red. And I was like, okay, well, that makes no sense. Then I was trying to go on my bank account. I just kept saying I couldn't get access, couldn't get access, couldn't get access. And so then I finally got onto that. And then it said, it was in the red. And it wasn't showing my deposit had come in yet. So now I still have to go on and see if my deposit came on. But, and I don't know if I start seeing a bunch of shit going down. It seems like shit is going down. Like, if we get through this week without some major fucking shit, I will be shocked. Because we've got major shit after major shit after major shit. And so, fuck. I mean, there's people who don't even know anything about the Nisargastana who are saying there's no way the dollar's going to make it for the year. I don't think it's gone. I think it's already gone. I think this is all a big show. I think this is all a big show to just show how corrupt and all the criminals and everybody, they've got to bring all these people down and they've got to bring them onto the stage. So there's got to be this huge display of so much corruption. And so that's what I think. But there's still, seems that there's still lots of people being killed through all this stuff. So it's all really happening, even though it's all being just played out. But it's like they can't stop the inevitable. They can't stop. And it's part of the story. It's part of that soul's destiny, that role. So it's confirmation. So it has to go that way. No matter what. I feel like my body's attacking me or something. So, what was I going to say? I was going to say, I don't even fucking know. Because, we could have got poisoned a couple days ago and still be having the effects of it. It may not even be on it every single day. Yesterday when I went out, there was all those weird clouds with the movement, the patterns up in the thing. So that shows something with the frequency when they have all that patterns up in the sky. And it was sunny, but it's like it was intense sun you can't look over at. And I was like, I want to be outside. But there's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird outside. And then you get in your head, like all of the chemicals and the shit that keeps coming down. Because that is how, I don't know where would I be getting all these parasites anyways, which I don't even know if I have them. But is it the frequency that's turning up that's making the body have all these weird sensations that I'm thinking it's parasites, but it's really this high frequency? Because we have that over here. But it could have been whatever dumping. They don't do it just nonstop all day, every day. It can be like you get something dumped on you one week, and then the next week it's another thing that complements the other one. So it just is this long running sickness feeling, like, you know, like I like the pain and the joints and the shooting pains and stuff. Like, fuck, that could be something that was I got you know, a week ago in some kind of toxic, and then the symptoms though last for months. Like, that's the thing too. So it's hard to like really pinpoint anything. Man, it's so crazy. All is because so glad that if this is the week, they're gonna go to war or something. Like, how can they just keep dragging this out? Like, they've got it such a huge thing. I guess they can be like, well, now a submarine has gone over here, and then we'll all sit there all day long. Oh my god, oh my god. Then the next day, oh, helicopters were over here. So all day, oh my god, helicopters. Okay, so oh, we got all these people, they're coming across, they're waving their flags. Oh my god, we got all this, you know. So each day is just another little thing, another little thing. You know, we need all the things to just hurry up and go so that we can hurry up and have this big thing happen, whatever's going to fucking happen, so we can fucking get through it. And just drag it out and drag it out. It's like dragging out sickness. It's so annoying. And so it's dragging out and dragging out bugs. So they could drag this out more. You'd think that it's so on the edge that, you know, that they're going to have to, something big's going to have to go down to make whatever is going to go. To me, they seem to be just really headed to, they want to make it into a nuke situation or something. Who knows? It's so weird too. It's because there's like this huge peace treaty. Like, is really Putin doing anything, or is he really just sitting back and saying, you know, we need peace. You guys are being attacked. You guys, we got to get rid of these bad people. Like, every time I see him, he's saying stuff like that. You know, and I know that that's a part of the Nasara Gasara is a big thing with the peace treaty. That's the way you get your gold, is to get the peace. It's peace on earth. And so anyways, but however, it's all going down. It's all going down. It's just, you know, it's a lot. Yeah, my throat is like a total, that hurts. Okay, so I'm gonna go.